welcome to Trends with LJE, where we take a deep dive into the headlines shaping national discourse boldly, honestly, and with clarity. I am your host, Maimuna Ahoiza Zubair, and today's episode promises sharp analysis, necessary nuance, and thoughtful discussion. Joining me are two brilliant minds, development strategist Shadrach Oka, and new on the table, social commentator Miriam Gamaliel. You're both welcome.
Thank you.
Miriam, first time here. How are you feeling? Are you nervous?
I'm nervous. Yes, definitely.
Nah. Shadrach, any advice as a veteran?
Just bear your thoughts. Nigerians just want to listen to your own perspective.
Absolutely. All right, let's get right into it. We begin on what should have been a high note. The just concluded 22nd National Sports Festival, tagged Gateway Games, held in Ogun State. The festival spanned 12 days of intense competition across Abeokuta and other venues, showcasing the talents of about 10,000 athletes from Nigeria's 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Delta State topped the medals table, and President Tinubu praised Ogun for what he called a world-class hosting. Yet, the nation mourns the loss of 21 Kano State athletes who tragically died in an auto accident on their return. The Northern Governors Forum and the National Association of Nigerian Students, and indeed the whole country, are grieving. Let me come to you, Miriam. What are your thoughts on this? This is a very tragic end to what was a very high note.
Yeah, really, because, okay, before I go into the tragic part, I'll commend Ogun State for doing a good job.
Right.
Their hosting is really, really commendable. And Delta State winning most of the medals. Delta State is known for sports.
Absolutely.
Like, the state is really, really putting more into sports, training their athletes and making sure that if they go out to compete, they come back victorious, and they really, really did very well. Now, coming to the tragic parts, that's really, really sad. You get?
Absolutely.
But I just hope that these athletes that died in the course, I hope our governments, the president, would remember them, meet their family members, like just show them gratitude, give them gifts, support them, make sure that these people are not just forgotten.
Absolutely.
Just like that.
Shadrach, this is Delta's 5th consecutive win and 9th win overall. And also, speaking on the tragedy, the FRSC claims that the accident was as a result of overspeeding. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on these.
Well, let me join my colleagues and the LJE team to express the best condolences to the family of the deceased and the government of Kano State.
Absolutely.
And having said that, and also the report from the Federal Road Safety called for concern on the people who lead such missions. Ministry should know that people they engage in their services should be more professional. I don't see where a ministry staff driving across interstate who abuse traffic, rules. If he's a professional, a trained driver ought to know the speed limit that they should use. But more worrisome for me is the fact that Kano State government were too fast in terms of compensation, announcing a 1 million naira compensation. Is that what an athlete is worth? Is that what a Nigerian life is worth? For me, it is insulting. It's not a $1 million, not a 1 million euro, 1 million naira. You are saying you are giving like 10 bags of rice to a family that lost a soul, maybe a breadwinner. It is very insulting. Even if that was to be, they should just be silent over that.
Absolutely.
An investigation have not been launched and concluded, and you are coming about compensation package. It is very, very insulting. That should be not known by Nigerian. I think it's a shame for me. They should do much better than they have done.
Absolutely. And moving on to even more tragic news, we turn to Niger State, where over 100 people have been confirmed dead in a devastating flood in Mokwa local government area. Entire communities are submerged, and many, including children, are still missing. Survivors at an internally displaced persons camp were urged to remain patient as the state government, with support from the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA, works to distribute relief materials. NEMA's Director General, Mrs. Zubeida Umar, assured that officials are coordinating efforts to rescue the missing and even the dead. Shadrach.
too much for us in Nigeria and this part of the world. Again, another state, Niger State, who have been battling a lot of insurgency issues. This had just happened. I think a couple of weeks ago, we had another tragic boat mishap in same Niger State.
Right.
But this time around, I termed it mysterious flood because from the analysis from the NEMA, it is not as if a dam was, water was released from the dam. I think it was from an unlikely source. And yet they are trying to conclude investigation.
No, actually, they said there was a heavy rain
Heavy
that
rain. So,
continued for
unlike
24 hours.
Unlike when you said they gave us information and we didn't disseminate information, but this one, you can't stop the rains.
Absolutely.
Nobody has powers to determine when rain comes and when it goes. That's why I term it mysterious, flood. But beyond that, I think it's very unfortunate, but they are doing a lot to see how they can relocate the people to IDP camps. And between the figures 150 and 230, there's no certainty as to what number, but I know for sure we will be having over 300, deaths. So it's very unfortunate. Again, our heart goes out to the people of Niger State. Such an unfortunate incident.
Absolutely.
Lives.
Very sad. And, this also speaks to our disaster management and preparedness. We've talked about this on this table before in Rivers State and I think Bielsa, where they encountered the same floods this same year. But our hearts, like Shadrach has said, goes out to the people of Niger State. Moving quickly along to Akwa Ibom State, where Governor Umo Eno broke his silence over a recently resurfaced video in which his daughter, Jane Edidiong Ufot, accuses him in connection with her mother's death. Remarking on the resurfaced video, Governor Eno insists his family is intact and blames political detractors. Recall that just last week he hinted at decamping to the APC and even threatened to sack appointees suspected of double loyalty. Shadrach, I purposely put this recall for us because, this is a video that was viral last year, sometime I think around May or so. And a year later, the video is resurfacing. For people like me, I didn't see it last year, so it felt very fresh. What are your thoughts on this, and how do you tie this to detractors as he has claimed?
Well, let me take on the pastor governor, Umoeno. He just said family should be kept off limits.
Right.
And the direct answer to him will just say no to him. You can't say family should be kept off limits in politics where you appointed your daughter SSA.
Right.
You made your daughter the first lady to replace the mother. That is not off limits.
No, that's alleged.
It's not alleged. She's practically, overseeing the office of the first lady. I can speak on authority.
Right.
So if you want your daughter, your family to be kept off limits in politics, you keep them off politics. You cannot appoint your immediate family member, an executive member of cabinet, or even an SSA. And when it comes to taking, the bullets that are coming to politics, you want them to be, they don't spare. In politics, if you don't want people to remind you the pants your mom was wearing the day he got married to your dad, don't venture in politics. If you come into politics, I agree that you are going to get everything rough. So it's very unfortunate that happened. But he never answered the question. Because the question is, did you do that or did you not? It wasn't detractors who forced the daughter in that situation to make the statement she made.
No, he claimed it was trauma.
But he didn't deny the daughter did not say that. So you cannot rub it off on detractors or political opponent. This was an incident that happened. She wasn't a minor. She's a full-grown adult.
Right.
In her full senses, made those claims. For over a year, you did not debunk it when the public didn't get to know.
Right.
But of course, in politics, there are a lot of secrets, more secret that we do not know. Don't offend your best friend. Then we'll get to know the things you did in the closet. Very unfortunate that they are bringing this up in the public, but it is part of the reward of being a politician in Nigeria.
Miriam, how should the public interpret this? It's now an ongoing thing where it came out last year and it's back again this year. It feels like he cannot get a break from the allegations. What are your thoughts on this?
The thing is, in Nigerians, once anything is out, you cannot control what people are seeing or how people interpret it or whatever. So it is just for him to, I think, relax and let Nigerians do their thing. After a while, everything will die down.
To blow over.
It will blow over, definitely, because there's nothing he can do about it. Nothing, actually.
Absolutely. Let's move on to Enugu State, where a startling arrest at the Sama border happened, as wanted native doctor Obi Obieze, an alleged Ritualist and kidnapped kingpin from Enugu State was apprehended while attempting to flee into Benin Republic. Thanks to sharp instincts from the Nigeria Immigration Service at Igbaji checkpoint, he was caught while on a motorcycle and was detained at the NIS cell while the controller in charge of Lagos State Border Patrol Command contacted the headquarters of NIS about the arrest, with the Comptroller General, Kemi Nandap, confirming his arrest. Shadrach, oh no, let me come to you first, Miriam. You already know the story about this man. He was first alleged to have done this after the recovery of a 13-year-old who was kidnapped in Enugu and he absconded. And then he was found in Lagos semi-border. This has been an ongoing situation, it's still ongoing. And the latest that I saw was him saying he was set up. I don't know if any of you saw that. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this in general.
Okay. Firstly, I'll say thank you to our security officials that swept into action immediately and caught him. And also, social media played a part. Because if the story of the girl being kidnapped, going to the farmland with her dad, didn't go on social media, it didn't go viral, you see that many people will know about it and something might not be done. Absolutely. But because it went on social media, people were reposting, everybody was seeing it, and because of that, the police officials went into action immediately. Now, coming to the NIS official that caught the man, yeah, and I know some part in the story, the guy was saying he wanted to give him bribe, give him his iPhone.
Allegedly that he was offered 10 million
naira, yes. And the official said no. That means that we still have some integrity in our security force.
Absolutely.
We still have some people who are diligent, who are straightforward, and who won't take bribe for anything. So I commend the NIS official who did that, and I hope they put Obeze in jail for him to save them and make people know that if you wrong anybody, if you do anything wrong, if you do anything bad, you must face the consequences.
Absolutely. Shadrach, the man has alleged that he didn't do it and he was set up, and all the bodies that were buried underneath his house, he had nothing to do with. What are your thoughts on this?
When you catch a criminal, the first thing is that they said his first time, or they blame the devil. He will have his day in court. Let him go to the court and prove his innocency.
For sure. Still ahead, we have so much to talk about. Boko Haram's neutralization and Nigeria's win at the Unity Cup. Stay with us.
Hello, this is Leadership Corp Justice and Economic Advancement. Here at LJE, we offer education and empowerment, entrepreneurship and development skill, legal advocacy, promoting justice and equity, and job creation initiative. You can reach us on 0705 236 8821 or 0705 245 3714. Or you can visit our website at www.ljenigeria.org.
Welcome back. The program is still Trends with LJE. Moving swiftly along, the Nigerian Air Force under the Operation Hadinkai struck a major blow to insurgency this week with the killing of Boko Haram commander Abu Fatima in Borno State. His deputies, including IED specialist Abu Modu, were also neutralized. The highly coordinated operation executed under the cover of darkness represents a major leap in ongoing efforts to dismantle the operational capabilities of terrorist elements undermining national security in the northeast. However, elsewhere, over 30 troops and police officers have reportedly been detained for selling weapons to terrorists. A spokesman, Ademola Owolana, said the army launched an operation in August 2024 as a response to incessant cases of arms and ammunition theft. So far, a total of 18 soldiers, 15 mobile policemen, and 8 civilians, including a traditional ruler, have been arrested, Owolana said at a press briefing last week. Shadrach, this is good news, merged with some bad news. How do we juxtapose victory of the military when there is betrayal within the military at the same time? Let me hear your thoughts on this.
Well, a very great indictment. People have been saying on good authorities that Boko Haram have infiltrated government from Jonathan's era. I can't confirm that there are a lot of investigation underneath that have indicted a lot of army generals.
Right.
The troops themselves, soldiers have been speaking up and allegedly claiming some of their top-ranking officers have been engaged in sabotaging their efforts. But we don't get to see some of these people being investigated. No names in security agencies. We want to see beyond this investigation that looks somehow as if it's a written script to victimize a people or just throw up some people sometimes to whip up all of those sentiments. We need full-blown investigation into the Nigerian military. Some names have been thrown up in a couple of days ago where some, our troops in the theater of war have been alleging that some army generals have been engaged, working hand in hand with these criminal terrorists. We want to see much being done on them, not just some secret trials. And also, kudos to the trip that caught the Boko Haram leaders. But I can confirm to you, when you get one win from the Nigerian army side, you have over 10 and 20 other wins from the terrorists. Just in Benue State, over 50 people. How many more lives are we going to see, being wasted in Nigeria by criminal element? And some of these criminal activities going on in terms of killing, some are political, some are not, largely from herdsmen or Boko Haram or banditry. It's a kind of mix-up. So we want the army to launch all of this investigation, especially in Benue. It has been consistent, Benue and the Plateau. And yet we've not seen any arrest of any sort, especially in Benue. Every week you have 50, 70, 100 lives being lost in Benue State. We want a full-blown investigation to unravel the mysterious killing that is going on in the Benue. But for Nigerian army, kudos to what you have done this weekend.
Very well said. Moving on May 30th, businesses, schools, and markets shut down across parts of the southeast to mark Biafra Day. In Enugu and Imo states, the sit-at-home order was very much obeyed, while in states like Ebonyi, it was business as usual, as movement continued as normal. Though the remembrance remains unofficial, it reflects a strong cultural and political undercurrent. Miriam, what do you think about this? As at the risk of sounding controversial, what are your thoughts on annual observance of Biafra Day? Do you think it should be recognized as a regional memorial, or should we even upscale it to national?
I think upscaling it to national means putting everybody on standstill just to observe a national day. But I don't think that is necessary. Because if you look at Anambra State, if you look at the East generally, you see that this sit-at-home is really affecting them.
Right.
Businesses are shutting down. Many people there are taking their businesses out of the East to other places because every Monday now they are sitting at home, they're not doing anything, no move about, no, everybody is just scared. Although I heard that they said that they've removed the order, but people are still very scared to move around. Nobody is free. On Mondays, you see everybody are just there. They're not doing anything. Everybody is inside the house. Even if you want to travel, you cannot travel. So I think they should really, really sit down and think about that sit-at-home stuff because it's killing the East.
Right.
It is really, really killing the businesses there.
But Shadrach, you're already nodding. In Enugu State, some government offices were shut down. So even though it's unofficial, the government is, in tune with it.
Let me take you on your statement on the risks of being controversial. I want to be controversial, very, very controversial on this issue. And that's why I must introduce my name properly. My name is Shadrach Oka. I hail from a village or a town called Mpani, Lobasese, Yakau local government area of Cross River State, South Nigeria, that defies geographical sense in the place called the Niger Delta. I am not an Igbo man, but I'm a proud Nigerian from the South.
Right.
I have to introduce myself so that people whip up sentiment that I'm an Igbo man. That's why I'm speaking on this.
Right.
If I'm made a president today, my first acceptance speech will be to declare May 30 a national public holiday.
Right.
I will do that for Nigerians. And why will I do that? When Martin Luther King Jr. was leading civil disobedience in the United States of America, it wasn't appealing to the people that were leading. But after the great success, bringing about black liberation, today we have a Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day. Absolutely. When Nelson Mandela was leading civil disobedience to end apartheid, it wasn't palatable for the West. But today he's being celebrated as the most famous man in the whole world.
Absolutely.
I want to say, what is wrong with Nigerians? Nigerians is suffering from the sickness called Igbophobia. We are suffering from an Igbo problem. Are you telling me that Nigeria went into war, we cannot delude ourselves of our own history.
Right.
We fought a civil war, and over 3 million people, Nigerians, lost their life. Nigerians lost their life. Intelligent people, inventors, scientists, medical doctors, they lost their life. These are Nigerians.
Right.
Today, if you see a northerner, the alliance you see, he will say Ariwa. We will clap hands. If you see a Yoruba man, he identifies himself as Oduduwa. We clap our hands. What is an Igbo man identified with?
They have a Ohaneze now.
That is a social-cultural organization, just as you have a Afenifere and you have a consultative forum.
Right.
I'm talking about the alliance. What a common northerner is known for is Ariwa.
Right.
And they have declared Ariwa Republic severally, hosted flags. Oduduwa Republic have declared Oduduwa Republic, hosted flags. But today, if I call myself a Biafran, it means Nigeria should collapse.
Absolutely.
We must give recognition to that day. Today, Democracy Day was changed from May 29 to June 12. Why? A certain man lost his life. Was he the only person that died? No. We have Igbo men, we have Hausa men, we have Northerner, Fulani that stood for MKO.
Right.
But he became the symbol.
Right.
The Southwesterner declared June 12, public holiday, every June 12. They hosted until it was recognized. What is wrong with the Igbos? Why would the Igbos' case be different? We must recognize May 30 as a national day because Nigerians, over 3 million, lost their life in that war.
Absolutely.
And to lead reconciliation and to bring Nigeria into togetherness and oneness and unity, we must recognize that. And why did I say so? Talk about patriotism. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe of blessed memory, was born November 11th in a place called Zungaru in the north. That was the same year that Nigeria, Southern and Northern Protectorate were brought together.
Yeah.
Which means the Igbos, patriotism and unity in this country predated the nation called Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Where was Odumogo Ojukwu, the hero of the Biafra nation? And where was he born? Zungaru, in the north. These guys have been there. General Ikenwachukwu's mother was a Fulani woman from Katsina State. Mention any region in Nigeria today that have somebody 90-year-old who was born. They are married to Fulani people, not everywhere. Yeah. Igbos are more patriotic than any nation state in Nigeria
Absolutely.
today. So, Nigerians, I want to appeal to Mr. President. I want you to put your name, just like Buhari did, by recognizing MQ Abiola.
Absolutely.
Let President Tinubu recognize May 30 as a national day of mourning. That Nigerians, 3 million Nigerians, children, pregnant women lost their life in a needless war. Once that is done, I can tell you that is a roadmap to reintegration and national unity in this country. Okay. And until we get it right, we'll continue to shut our doors against the best, and patriotism will be far from us.
Wow, Shadrach, I didn't know you had so much. What if I didn't ask you anything? You would have.
I'll swallow it, and I can tell you there are many people who have been swallowing a lot of.
Well, it's a good thing you got the chance to say it. Let's move quickly along to our next topic on the docket. The House of Reps has set a clear timeline for a fresh round of constitutional reviews. Consultations with speakers, governors, and editors are on the horizon. The meetings are a part of the committee's efforts to ensure the successful passage of key bills in the review by December 2025. I'm coming to you again, Shadrach, because we've talked about constitution. You've mentioned how this constitution is not palatable or even valid for us to still be using in 2025. What do you think about this?
Well, yes, generally speaking, we say that we need a total fresh constitution, but
in the absence of that,
right, we'll just make do with what we have our politicians do. But I want to charge citizens today to monitor very closely the ongoing constitutional review by the House of Reps. There are about 39 bills that have been sent and been passed, among which are some bills to empower INEC to conduct state and local government elections, some to expand the judiciary, and a whole lot. But my charge this morning is to alert the public to monitor the dates, because it's going to be a lot of public hearing, regional hearings, stakeholders, media, so that people can be able to monitor where their impact, where they can be able to make impact, make suggestions, meet key stakeholders, and make. So on that note, I want to say that the Committee for Constitutional Review will be meeting with diplomatic community June 20, this June 20, as in just about 2 weeks' time. They will meet civil society organization July 3rd, and they'll be meeting with media executive July 8th or 9th. And they'll be meeting with zonal public hearing July 11 to 13 for the North and July 18 to 20 for the South. National public hearing will be July 21. They'll be meeting with political parties in July 14. The House of Reps will pass that bill. They promise to pass the bill all these activities will happen before December 20. So we got to monitor these people, where the bills are going to. They will spend 1 week and then they will vote between 7th and 9th of October. October 14 will be for the voting. Absolutely. The bill, as they say, will be transmitted to State Assembly October 30. So anywhere you are, your House member in this various State Assembly will be having opportunity to make input to this bill October 30. And they have promised to promote transparency, accountability, and inclusivity. So that means that each and every one of all your grievances, please script them. Find one of these two stakeholders
and forward to them
and closely monitor them. Social media, beam your light on them. Let us see what is in the document to ensure it satisfies our curiosity.
Absolutely. This timetable will be placed on our screen so you can see it and get in touch with it and, follow as the proceedings go till when they finally do in October. Shadrach, you are really out for blood. You're really out for blood.
Not smiling.
Miriam, do you have any thoughts on this before we move forward?
No, please.
All right. Finally, we move to the Super Eagles win at the Unity Cup. Something to cheer about. In a thrilling finale at the Brentwood Community Stadium in London, the Super Eagles of Nigeria emerged victorious on Saturday, defeating Jamaica 5-4 on penalties to secure the Unity Cup. The 2025 Unity Cup, held from May 27th to 31st, a vibrant celebration of cultural heritage uniting African and Caribbean communities in London. This year's edition was especially significant, marking the first time the tournament has been held since 2004, and reinforcing its mission to foster unity and cultural pride among the diaspora. The competition featured 4 teams: Nigeria, Ghana, Jamaica, and Trinidad and Tobago, with Super Eagles lifting the Unity Cup, defeating Jamaica, and reminding us what football can do for national spirit. Miriam, thoughts?
Okay, this is about football, so I'll push it to Mr. Shadrach.
It's not about football per se, because it's the story behind it. Okay, fine. Let me replenish my questions to you. What do you think about this in terms of unity for Black people in the diaspora? Right.
Okay. The Unity Cup, or the football, the match that was played, would foster relationships, good friendships, and all that between Blacks and the whites over there. So that's just it.
That's very swift. Shadrach.
Well, once again, we see it was just like home games between brothers. When we had the semi-final playing against Ghana, bitter rivalry was stirred up.
Right.
But very beautiful. You see both the Ghanaian fan and Nigerian fans sitting together,
absolutely,
throwing countries against themselves until we had an upper hand against them. But there's something very spiritually connected when we played the final against Jamaica. A very good, disciplined Jamaican team that always come from behind to equalize a game. We had, especially our Yoruba nation ancestry, very strong in Jamaica. So when I saw them, it's as if we are playing with our brothers. So yes, Nigeria got opportunity of getting their wings again from Super Chickens, as we always mock them when they do poorly, to Super Eagles. They are getting their vibrant, victorious wings back again. Foster unity for the Black nation all over the world.
Very well said. And that's a wrap on today's episode. A very big thank you to my guests today, Shadrach and Miriam. Insightful as always. Appreciate you so much. To our viewers, the headlines may be heavy, but conversations like these light the path forward. I am Imuna Ahoy Zazabayar, urging you to stay informed and stay engaged. See you next time.